just something they're thinking about. Okay. Like it's fully realized in some way.
Okay.
This is a large cast. God bless them.
Yeah.
What else? Less than like 7 years. Sure. Fresh.
Yes. New voice.
Yes.
Yeah. I get you.
Giant casts like this are very difficult. So we avoid this.
This is not usual, actually. I was going to say it's not usual for them, but
We
I've
end
seen
up
it
in one a year like that somehow. But yeah, for Shakespearean cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. But we were always producing around this time.
Oh, okay. How long have you been running the festival?
We started 2 years after you guys started.
Okay, and you
Started here 9.
Nice. Wow.
What's different about us is it was founded as part of theater company's programming, versus institutional programming.
I see.
So in that way, it feels a little different. Our goal is to get them into production.
Very nice. Okay.
I call it speed. Because we pair a local director who's committed to this kind of work, local theater companies, a cultural institution, or the consulate. And then if we could bring in the playwright or translate, and we say, okay, we'll make this.
That sounds
awesome. In 9 years, we had 15 productions.
That's amazing.
Pretty amazing.
That's kind of what I am trying to do with less of structure, but just looking for the plays and bring them over, translating them, and kind of find where they can go.
In a really practical kind of way. When it comes down to the challenge I have found is for directors and producers to find the translation, literally to just find it somewhere. So we've really been talking about doing digital anthologies. And in an ideal world, I would like to have the anthology have both English and English.
That sounds
Living the
awesome.
dream. Yeah. We've had some translators, agents, all afraid that somebody's going to see the show. So you never know where to reach your strange thing. Yeah. But that's what we're working on now.
Oh, digital anthology.
The digital anthology.
Very cool.
And you would then retro.
So many years.
We'd go back, put it all together.
That sounds awesome. And what's your dissertation?
So it's part performance philosophy, part history. The philosophy part is marrying contemporary philosophy and dramatic theory. So that part of it is how you perform the political. How do you find connections? How to learn more. And for my period is AIDS drama in Chicago, 1980 to 1996, which is when I started producing, the tail end of that. And I choose 1996 as a cutoff because it's the first year that the book started traveling to Memorial Book. The giant AIDS memorial to us.
Oh, okay.
It's stunning. From a couple of football teams. It's the first time that people started to be able to look back and memorialize. And I kind of consider that and change. Survived or in their stories.
It's academic and theater, it's a place where they both meet. Yeah, the audience and practice for each other.
Intellectual practices, historical practices, cultural practices. Everybody, please.
Examples of women
Sharing what it is that you do, sharing how you do that.
There's no way you can ignore that moment anymore.
working on to become and see each other.
You start out a little thing, you write it in, you have to do, you open.
Theater for everybody, yes, everybody.
That's just what should be done.
And indeed, my understanding of life
relationships that I've already changed.
Survival of theater as an art form depends on fact.
But there's room for it all. There's room for it all.
Welcome, everybody, here to the Martini Segal Theatre Center at the Graduate Center CUNY. My name is Frank Henschke, and I'm the director of the Segal Center. This is day 2 of this, we think, really significant and important festival, Pen World Voices, in the International Playwrights Festival, which is part of the ongoing Pen World Voices Festival, which is happening in the city this week. I think about 80 writers from all around the planet are here and to contribute to the intellectual life, hopefully also the moral and ethical and the quest to give meaning to what we are all experiencing right now. Is an important contribution. I also would like to ask you all to have a look at the PEN program. Their prison and writers program is of significance. The Freedom to Write program, as well as the literary awards they got out, which are one of the most significant in the world. And it's a big honor for us to be a part of this festival now for over 10 years. The Segal Center bridges academia and professional theater, international and American theater, and of course, this is right at the center of what we believe in, what we think is of importance. The festival was founded, the Pen World Voices, by Paul Auster and Salman Rushdie and others, because they felt under the first government under Bush, there was not enough listening to voices from around the world. 95% of all books published are American or British. The rest of the 5%, half of it is French or German, because the government helps them, and the rest are from the 180 other countries. So basically 1 or 2 books. Unthinkable for musicians not to listen to music from their colleagues around the world, or for music listeners. And so I think this is a very, very significant and important contribution, and perhaps never ever has been more. That had an urgency to it than now. It's to our great sadness to say that Liwaa Yazji, the Syrian playwright who lives in Berlin on a visa, was not able to come. She was not allowed to come in. For whatever reasons, we do not know. The American embassy in Berlin, who is normally very open to these things, was not able to secure or give her the visa. It's again a story that is stunning. She has been here, a fellow for CEC Arts Links and for many other visits. So we do not really know what happened, but it's a disgrace. It should be a freedom of speech for everybody. And if billions are spent to liberate voices, we should have a place where we can hear them, not just about them, but from themselves. And Liwaa is a great writer, a poet. We knew her when she was a poet. Before the play she wrote Now Goats was done at the Royal Court. She also was a good friend of the Segal Center. So it's a great sadness, and we miss her in case Liwaa is watching from Berlin, which she said she would. She's going to join us later on Skype. Hello from New York, and we really do miss you, and you're here with us in spirits. And the fact that she couldn't come is actually one of the reasons why this is of real importance and why we have to do this. The play was done, actually, her first one at the Royal Court on the upstairs with Elise Dodgson and her International Writings Program, a fantastic one, perhaps the leading one in the world. So it's a big honor for us to have the American premiere reading here, and we would like to thank Zishan Ugurlu, who we didn't really tell right away that it had 14 actors and it's over 3 hours, and she had cut it for 90 minutes for this. But she said yes without asking too many questions up front, and then she couldn't take it back. So thank you, Zishan, and we again will have a little discussion here afterwards. So really, thank you for coming. We have a little questionnaire out there because we never know how to reach the people. People, they often tell us we would like to know more, but we don't hear from you. Maybe if you could fill out where you come from. You can keep the pencil. It's our present to you as a memory. And you can write a play or a poem today, which you could. And I hope it inspires you. And so please do fill it out, and you can give it on your way out. If you have a cell phone with you, now is the time. Please do take it out. I'll do the same and double check. It's off. Mute and eye watches and all of it. It never rings in our reading, so hopefully also not today. So thank you so very, very much. I hope I didn't take up too much time. And here is Liwaa's play, Goats. Thank you.
Goats by Liwaa Yazji, translated by Katharine Halls. A village in Syria, 2016. The party office and Abu al-Tayyib's house are in the same building. The sounds of fighting, missiles, and explosions gradually become clearer and clearer over the course of the play. From the time the goats appear, their bleating is constant in every scene. Means mother of, and Abu means father of. Characters: Abu Faras, Tony Namovsky, Faras's father and school teacher. Ghassan, Black-Eyed Susan, Adnan's and Ghassan's mother. Adnan, Eric Anthematin, Ghassan's son. Zara, Mackie Burt, Adnan's wife. Abu al-Tayyib, Oliver Hensler, chair of the local branch of the party. Al-Tayyib, Theodore Lucas, Abu al-Tayyib's wife. Mudar, Ashton Garcia, Abu al-Tayyib's teenager son. Fadi, John Weicker, teenager. Marwan, Leah Kalish, villager. Aziz, Crystal Uribi, villager. Abu Karim, Mohammed Dagman, villager and member of the local party. Abu Ahmad, Carlos Mesa, villager, member of the local party. State TV crew presenter, Sabina Demidovich. Stage direction reader, Shana Matthews. Alone. The main square, afternoon, coffins slowly appear, carried by men and teenagers who converge and place the coffins on the ground. There is scarcely enough space for all the coffins, which continue to appear. The first coffins are fully draped in clean flags with bright colors, and some with bouquets and wreaths. As more coffins enter, the flags grow more faded and tattered and smaller so that the coffins aren't properly covered. Likewise, the flowers are less and less frequent. Some of the final coffins have been strewn with wildflowers. One of the coffins appears to have common mallow laid on it. Abu Faras accompanies the coffin of his son, Faras, never leaving its side, as he stands waiting impatiently. People wait respectfully, but as time passes, they start to shift restlessly. The sound of ululating fills the space as the women enter, weeping and wearing black, in a funeral tradition that is reminiscent of a wedding. The women try to squeeze their way into the limited space. The municipality men, the party members, and their bodyguards arrive. Mudar and Fadi enter, carrying a large tray, which bears an enormous homemade-looking cake in the shape of a pair of military boots, and another in the shape of a bullet. Villagers try to make space for them and set down the tray in its place, all eyes watching them intently. Mudar and Fadi are followed by a little boy and girl dressed as bride and groom, shyly accompanying the tray. They wear hats with model military boots on them. The screen suddenly turns on.
Can we get started?
In the name of our innocent martyrs, the pride of our nation, we gather today to remember our nation's martyrs, the brave members of the army and security services, and of course the others. For the sake of this precious nation, please stand. Please stand for a moment, a minute of silence. Thank you. The terrorists are targeting our best people. They hate knowledge and they fear our freedom. These atrocities happened in a single week. We are fighting back, but in the last week alone, we have lost over 800 men defending our front line, soldiers and civilians. That's in 1 week, in a war that's already lasted 7 years. We grieve for them, but we are fighting on behalf of the entire civilized world. We shall kill, and we shall be killed, but the nation will never die.
It's a conspiracy against all of us.
And your children, and your children are our children. Who among us has not lost a son? Who has not lost a brother or a husband? Yet now, here they are returning to us. Here is our gentle Aziz. He fought to the very last. Aziz destroyed an entire terrorist cell, and now he is a great martyr.
I swear on this blessing, my son called me from the front and said, Dad, I wish you were here to see how I'm killing these cowards. And now he is a martyr. My son and all our sons, they are living and giving. They are willing to give their life for this nation. If we don't give our blood, who will?
Absolutely. Your son has brought glory on your household. Congratulations. Imra-san, your son was a pilot who wiped out terrorists from the air. You must be so proud that his home is now in the heavens.
My mother-in-law, Imra-san, has sworn never to speak again. Never to speak another word until she was avenged her son.
Abu Firas, you must be so proud of your courageous son. Firas tore those terrorists limb from limb. Now, I won't keep you for much longer, my dear suffering people.
Enough of this madness.
What do you mean, Abu Firas?
Think about it, and you'll see what I mean.
The screen displays close-ups of the coffins and photographs of the martyrs held up by villagers in the crowd.
Abu Tayyib, I'm not here to celebrate. My son is dead. A month ago, he left out of the blue. Someone took him away from me, and now he's been brought back in a sealed box. Where is Firas?
Abu Firas, I know you well. I'm sure you're saying all this out of grief over Firas.
The screen shows snow, as if there has been a technical glitch, then cuts abruptly to footage of military parades and nationalist propaganda videos.
He hasn't been feeling right since his son joined the army.
My son didn't join the army. My son was stolen.
Now you sound like one of those human rights people.
I'm completely lost.
Where has this come from?
One thing I know for sure is that my son is no more important or precious than the nation. Anyone who says otherwise is a traitor and a hypocrite.
Abu Firas's father was a coffin bearer of the late president. How can his son be this ungrateful and nasty?
War is natural. We didn't invent it. Nature's way to defend itself against human stupidity. Human beings pop out more and more babies, so the ground swallows them up. I mean, someday we're all going to die.
Why don't you defend your children like you defend your country? Now listen, Firas is not in that coffin. Until I see his body, I can't begin to accept that this is my son. These are not your children. The coffins are empty. We don't know who or what is inside them.
Oh, wow. You're heading for the mental hospital, and you're usually so reasonable.
Abu Tayyib, you promised me I could see my son. If you had kept your promise, you wouldn't need to lie.
I've never made any promises to you. Tell me, who believes these ridiculous lies? Huh? Anyone else want to embarrass us all on live television?
I want to see my son. I've been trying since I found out he'd been killed. But you are avoiding me.
If they open one coffin, I will shoot them in the head.
Why do any of our children give up their lives?
For the nation!
These are the laws of nature and history. Who are you to change them?
You can put an end to this.
You are making a big mistake, accusing us of being traitors.
Abu al-Tayyib gives a signal to the bodyguards who move closer to Abu Firas, ready to hustle him away.
Nothing will move me. Ibn son, this is not the time to keep quiet. Why are you standing for this?
You are making a mockery of your son's sacrifice.
Abu Firas, the only person you are thinking about is yourself. Every mother has a happy memory of their son. Who wants to see their son now and to desecrate the sanctity of the coffin? Huh? Show yourselves!
Cowards!
Abu Firas, you've lost. Now, get out of here. A martyr belongs to his nation, not to you.
Over my dead body.
Be careful what you wish for.
I cannot consent to this. Religion says no one can bury my son without my consent. No one can bury someone's child without their permission. It goes against the Shira.
Abu Firas, your little performance is over. Now, let's get started.
Abu al-Tayyib gestures to the bodyguards to surround Abu Firas and discreetly prevent him from talking any further. The screen shows Abu al-Tayyib's face again.
I do apologize. This is a difficult time for all of us. It has a strange effect on some people, and we need to be tolerant. After this emotional interlude, let me remind you that today's gathering is a special one. It is a fitting opportunity to announce we have agreed to your demands to lower the minimum age for volunteers from 18 to 16. Long live the people, long live the nation, and long live its leader. Please, you're all most welcome to register your son's name and age.
Abu al-Tayyib leaves the podium immediately. On screen, close-ups of people queuing to sign up, eagerly but in an orderly fashion. Men carry away the coffins. Abu Firas watches as one coffin after another disappears. Abu al-Tayyib leaves with the officials.
We have been reporting live from the ceremony to mark the sacrifices made by the nation's martyrs. They were plucked in the flower of their youth. Today, Firas, a dutiful son of the land, celebrated his 16th birthday, embraced by the soil of his dear country. His message, written in blood, is short but sweet. With our souls, with our lives, we sacrifice ourselves for you, O nation. We can see the joy and pride of the families at the sacrifice of their menfolk. It is mingled with grief for the loss of a father, a husband, a son. Here is the father of one martyr. Abu Firas prefers to be silent today, respecting the sanctity of mourning.
Lies! It is not his birthday. Where have you taken him?
Abu Firas scrambles towards the presenter, but bodyguards hold him back. Abu Firas grasps the coffin and holds onto it and leaves with the coffin.
We should have helped him. It was heavy. You scared?
We'll be next, now that we're allowed to fight.
Mudar takes a TV remote control from his pocket and, indifferently, switches off the screen. Everything stops. Darkness. Visit. Imre San's house. Evening. From the nearby hill comes the light of a torch. Abu Firas approaches on foot. He shines the torch towards Imre San. She glances at him, then returns to her reverie.
I can't stay in the house by myself. I can't go to his room. They knocked at the door. They asked me to donate Firas's things. Did they take Hassan's things? I did what any parent would do. Why did you let them bury Hassan without seeing him? Why didn't you take a stand? Look me in the eye. Tell me you didn't want to see him. You still refuse to speak, or you just don't want to talk to me? You think your silence will change anything?
Zara emerges from the house.
Nice to see you. My condolences.
They'll call me crazy, but everyone respects you. Abu Tayyib can say no to you. Do you believe me when I say he promised me? Imre Hassan, you're the only one who remembers what it was like before, after those crooks took power. Why are you waiting?
She won't speak until Adnan has got revenge for his brother.
Is it true what she says? Do you know how her son was killed, the details? Say something. I can't do this on my own.
You know, talking about the dead is like eating their flesh.
Before he left, Firas and I had a huge fight. Then he vanished, without a word. I've been out of my mind ever since. We all know they're grabbing young men off buses and taking them to join the army. He might have been forced to join. You know what? He might have been murdered or kidnapped. And now they're trying to cover up. Who knows? So many maybes. He never said a word about going to fight. He could not even make his own dinner. How is he supposed to know how to fight? The last time he called me, he sounded scared. He's a boy, for God's sake. A boy. I'll never forgive them. They brainwashed him. He was saying, "Dad, I caught some terrorist." I asked him, where, when, who? I told him, "Son, leave them for the dogs. Just come home, go back to school." You know, he used to sit at the computer. He would say, "Dad, I'm helping in the electronic army." And then he ends up in the real army. What? No. No, those bastards forced him to sign up.
All parents get the call when their boys catch a terrorist. It's a great thing.
You only hear what you want to hear. Firas was scared.
You must have imagined it. Scared. Maybe he was scared because of you. Other families, they're thrilled to get the news.
What are you talking about? It's a war. It's not some kind of a call center.
The boys are just boasting. It's a phase.
A phase? Who else rang their family?
All the martyrs. All the boys who died.
A boy would only call if he was lost and abandoned. Did Hassan ring you?
Zara runs away in the direction of the sound.
Oh, our children are dying, and you think it's fine because it's just a phase? You're not saying anything. You must agree. You know what that sound means? It means that our children are cheap. I've been on the internet, on Firas's computer, reading the blocked sites. It's not hard to find out what's happening.
Abu Firas takes out a piece of paper from his pocket. It's covered with his handwriting and folded up small. He unfolds it and offers it to Imran. She looks but doesn't reach out to take it. He opens the piece of paper and reads out loud.
The regime is responsible for the deaths of thousands. But these thousands are not just statistics. It's cruelty on an industrial scale. They are children. Many parents receive bodies marked by violent torture. Other parents are handed their child's ID cards, but they never see their body. Some parents were sent only a pile of severed limbs. The regime is trivializing murder, killing for the sake of killing, leaving fathers without sons. You see, this is what we are doing, and this is what is happening to us. These are the people our children are killing, and the people who are killing our children. Who is the enemy?
Hassan doesn't move. Abu Firas picks up the clippings of paper.
Maybe I should shut up. All those years ago, I missed my chance. I failed to speak when I should have. Yeah, well, that is one way of talking.
Zara enters.
Let's hope your son comes back with his head.
If I have his child, he will never die.
Meeting. Local party office. Night. A military boot, serving as a vase, holds a bouquet of flowers. On the wall there is a large poster showing a photo of a military boot, and emblazoned with the words, "We heal your wounds," the party logo, and a photo of the leader. Abu al-Tayyib is watching a small television which faces his desk. On screen, a television report about a fall in egg production over the past year. Egg prices have risen, and citizens find themselves unable to afford a full box of eggs. Al-Tayyib enters. She picks up the flowers in the vase, trims the ends of the stems, wipes the boot, and reties the laces.
They can't keep taking from people and giving nothing in return.
Every citizen gets their fair share of eggs.
I mean, what happened today?
Quiet knocks at the door. Al-Taib leaves.
I thought I would come before the others get here. Rafiq, as you asked, I have drafted 2 official statements. What's the next step?
From the information we have so far, I'm going to need you to...
The men of the village enter.
Comrade, you are early.
Good evening, comrade. On the agenda today, we have a number of important items.
We do indeed, Comrade Abu Al-Taib. Nominate organizer for the spontaneous demonstration on Sunday. We need someone to organize it. Comrade Salma is to be instructed to nominate herself for the election. Remember to inform her.
She is not available for election. She's going to be pregnant.
Abu Salma can postpone the pregnancy. You can't postpone an election.
What happened today is an outrage. What are we going to do, Abu Firas? Comrade Abu Al-Taib, you spoke to Abu Firas. Did you promise him anything?
We should take him to court. Abu Firas is inventing all kinds of stories. He called me up earlier. I didn't answer him, of course, but Abu Samir picked up. Why? He asked. What did your boy say when you called him from the front? He's asking everyone. He realized it.
Of course he didn't. Our school teacher, Abu Firas, is polluting the mind of our children.
We will deal with Abu Firas at the appropriate time.
Loud banging at the door.
Open the door! Open up! Abu Taib, I know you're having a meeting. Let me in. You can't get away from me. Come on, you cowards!
That traitor is not coming in here and daring the party's office.
I will kill him!
Don't hide! If you're a man, let me in! Abu Taib, open the door. You cowards, let me in!
Abu Al-Taib makes a call on his mobile. Abu Firas's voice gets quieter. It sounds as if he was pulled away from the door by force.
You need to realize that with a real emergency, the government is there when you need it. I've been in touch with my colleagues at the highest levels. Their response is that we should take it easy. It's not clear if Abu Firas is in a fit state of mind.
I mean, we have satellite surveillance that can pinpoint someone's in a field fucking their goat. Excuse me. But then we have no idea what's going on in the minds of our own party members.
Be patient.
Abu Al-Taib takes a piece of paper out of his pocket.
Our nation has led the way, first in recognizing the role of the martyr in society, and second in offering assistance to the families of martyrs. On this occasion, we are happy to announce news of a generous initiative signed into effect by the Executive Committee. A mountain goat for the family of each martyr. A goat for every family that has given the greatest gift it possessed. The income from the goat will help each family be self-sufficient. You see, the government stands with us in our time of need.
Is it 1 goat per family or 1 goat per martyr?
Dear God, this is too generous. We don't need a thing. We're poor, true, but at times like this, we don't want to be a burden to our nation. Surely there must be people in worse need than us.
Thank you so much, Abu Tayyib. Thank you so much to the General Secretary. And thanks to everyone who contributed and everyone who understands our needs and need.
The telephone rings and Abu Al-Taib answers.
Yes. Yes. Abu Firas is at the hospital again, making a scene. He's trying to find Firas' body. He has smashed the windows.
Everyone leaves in a hurry and the others follow. Abu Al-Taib is left alone. Who is he? A viewpoint overlooking the town, next to the statue of the hero, nighttime. Abu Firas sits looking out over the hospital and the cemetery. Some time goes by, then Fadi and Mudar appear. Mudar is carrying an M16. Abu Firas leaps up in relief.
I knew you wouldn't leave me by myself.
Sir, God rest his soul.
Why did you let Firas go?
We had no idea that you didn't know.
We agreed not.
But you're young. Nothing is worth dying for. Did Firas tell you he was going? What do you know? Did he want to join the army?
For us, sir, he loved weapons more than any of us.
Firas? How come? Why did he go? And why have you got that gun with you?
Sir, he wanted to defend the nation against terrorists. Against terrorists who want to destroy the safety and security of our country. They want to kill us all. One look at what's written on your ID card and they chop off your head and play football with
The
you.
nation needs you alive, not dead. Firas's death won't change anything. Think about it. What does this war have to do with you or with Firas? What are you fighting for? Do you have any idea what's happening out there? Who's killing who and why? Do you?
Don't worry, sir. We've all got 3G.
They're all using you to fight their battles. They're killing you, and no one is asking any questions. Your friend died, surrounded and afraid. God knows they probably never sent anyone to rescue him. His voice was shaking. Firas was murdered.
Sir, surrounded? When he rang you, did he tell you he was surrounded?
So, what do the boys say when they call their families?
We don't know anything about it.
Why won't you tell me?
I didn't really get what he was saying. Anyway, he only spoke to my mom.
You didn't find out why he was scared?
I think you should go. I swear, they're not going to move Firas from the hospital. We're staying up late because we're on duty tonight. We can call you if anything happens.
Abu Firas grips Fadi's shoulder as if he is entrusting him with his son Firas. Abu Firas leaves. Confrontation. The school. Abu Firas opens the door, enters the classroom, wipes the blackboard. He writes on the board, Period 1, subject, history, topic, independence revolts against the Ottoman Empire. Abu Firas checks his watch. He sits down at his desk, angry at the student's tardiness. He looks towards the window. The door opens and Abu al-Tayyib enters.
Good morning.
So, you followed me here?
The school belongs to all of us. You're lucky we did not arrest you or break your legs.
Get out!
I do not want to be disrespectful, but you make it, well, unavoidable. Abu Firas, it is time we let you take a break. Over the years, you have taught almost everyone in the village.
Abu Firas gets up to leave.
Hold on, not straight away. And I cannot believe you embarrassed me in front of them. Telling everyone, Abu al-Tayyib promised to let me see the body of my son, and he did not keep his promise.
It's true.
And since when do we tell the truth? Huh? Tell me, has anyone ever told the truth? Has anyone ever demanded it? Does anyone even need it? What is the truth, Abu Firas? That I did not let you see your son?
The truth is why you did not let me see my son.
Of course. Son of a big shot. Grandson of another big shot. Educated, cultured. You always had a TV, even as a kid, and a washing machine and a car. Abu Firas, enough. We all know you failed to do military service. Do you know what the body of a martyr looks like? When an RPG hits a tank, what happens inside? The soldier melts. His body fuses with the tank and ends up in a lump of stinking metal that you cannot prise apart. Our boys are coming back in pieces. Legs, kidneys, and a finger that says, bugger you. Huh? Can you imagine what that is like? Abu Firas, do you want the families to see their boys like that?
They have the right to know. Who are you to decide for them?
Your performance at the funeral was a disgrace. Families were holding a picture of their son on his wedding night. They do not want to see him as a lump of rotten flesh. After seeing something so terrible, no parent would let their son fight. You want to leave the village to the enemy?
Well, who are you leaving the village to? Soon there will be no one left. Tell me. None of the boys come back wounded. Why is that? You tell everyone you're fighting terrorism and winning. Look me in the eye. Tell me that people really think we are winning. You really believe that?
I believe it!
Ha! Abu Tayyib, you're playing with the lives of our sons. Why don't you go and fight? Shame! I know why you're here. You're scared of me. Why? Because now I have nothing left to lose. In a country like this, that is the most dangerous thing.
This is a war, not a game. Young men are dying so that you and I can stay alive. You're feeling crushed because of your son.
Yes! I wish I could go back in time. Tell me, how did Firas die?
Your son died a martyr. He did his duty.
I can feel it. We started this war, and now it is crushing us underfoot like cow shit. We are the reason it happened. We invited monsters into our homes, and now we cannot get them out. The war...
Great! Great! I was sad for you to begin with, but now you have gone too far. You will be lucky to stay out of prison, and you definitely will not continue as a teacher. Listen, there is no such thing as a peaceful movement for regime change. You are vindictive.
I know my son. He was scared. I want to know why he was left alone.
Stop knocking on doors saying, "Come on, let's go," and dig up the graves and see if our sons are dead. We need to reassure people. Fortunately, the government has the matter in hand. They plan to distribute goats to the families of every martyr.
I don't give a damn about you or your goats.
Wait! I can have you arrested and make an example of you. The charges are ready. For interfering in military secrets. It's that simple. Firas will have to be buried.
The sheikhs will not allow it.
The sheikhs will fall into line, every last one. Cooperate with us. Agree to that, and you can see your son.
No. I will never cooperate with you. Even if I did, how do I know that you will show him to me?
Because I said so. Write your resignation letter. We do not want any trouble. The kids are now forbidden from coming near you, and you must stay away from them.
So, you're going to leave them without an education?
If one teacher goes, there are 10 to replace him. History doesn't change. Sara is coming to teach them. Sara is a clever girl. Also, she is one of us.
I cannot cooperate with you.
Well, maybe you should thank me. The boys did find your son Firas out in the fields, without a weapon, being eaten by hyenas. I told them never ever breathe a word about this in the village. Firas must be remembered as a martyr.
Abu al-Tayyib exits. On the wall is a large poster bearing the party logo. Abu Firas goes over to it and pulls it down in anger and frustration. Underneath it is the same picture. He tears through it and underneath finds the same picture again. He keeps tearing and every time reveals the same picture until he finally arrives at an old photo of a person whose features are unclear. The dictator. Abu al-Tayyib stands watching him from outside the window. Their eyes meet. Nightmares. Abu Firas's humble home. Nighttime. Darkness. A single candle lights the place. Abu Firas, in bed, wakes from his nightmare, panting and in a panic, and rubs his face. Strange sounds and movements. Abu Firas looks around. There's nothing there. He remains sitting up. Abu Firas picks up the handset and dials a number.
Hello?
What do I have to do?
Ah, you have been persuaded.
I want to see my son.
Very well. Ms. Hayam Abbas from the TV station is ready to come over with a cameraman. Follow her instructions.
And what about Firas?
You will find out.
Everything is all right. Town square, middle of the day. The villagers are all gathered in the square, apart from Abu Firas and Imrasan. Abu al-Tayyib's bodyguards, TV crew, presenter. A large number of goats, eating bits of paper which are lying on the floor. There are more goats than there are men. Colorful flags are being waved. The bleating of goats makes it hard to hear much of what is happening. On screen is a news item about the merits of goats. The technician gestures to villagers to move together, so screen shows heaving crowds.
The leadership is so clever. Goats are the only creatures that eat everything. Grass, wood, sand, paper, wire, even plastic. Anything they find in their path. We don't even have to worry about feeding them.
We are here today because of our martyrs and their sacrifices. Today we are delighted to announce that the martyrs' families are to receive a goat to show them that the nation has not forgotten them. The goat reminds them of the son they have lost, or husband, or father. What a heartwarming sight to see the village full of goats.
The presenter, on screen and on stage, interviews Marwan.
Today's news is moving and poignant. Every family so proud to have a martyr will receive a mountain goat. Marwan, kindly tell us how you feel hearing this announcement.
I'd like to thank Mr. President and the Army, Abu al-Taib, and you, everybody.
The cameraman continues filming her in close-up, then films the goats and the villagers interacting with them. Some are taking selfies with the goats, others are trying to pick which goat they are going to take. Abu al-Taib arrives. The crowd clears a path for him. On screen, the camera follows Abu al-Taib. He salutes villagers, then pats goats on the head. It is impossible to control the goats in a civilized fashion.
What a coincidence. We are honored to have the president of the party's local branch, Abu al-Taib. He is here to witness the goat distribution ceremony. How are the martyrs' families responding?
Oh, what a surprise. Well, first of all, we must thank the media for standing with us through good times and bad.
Viewers are asking, will the scheme be extended to other regions of our beloved homeland?
We hope so. Our vision is for every house in the nation to have its own goat.
Abu al-Taib gestures to a bodyguard to begin the distribution. When the distribution is complete, Abu al-Taib signals to the presenter to stop filming.
I hope everyone has received their token of appreciation. Before we all head home, please gather for a moment. Let us open our hearts and watch this interview. Mudar, my son, turn it on.
The screen shows a pre-recorded interview with Abu Faras. He looks broken and appears to be reading from a piece of paper in front of him. The villagers are astonished.
My name is Ibrahim. I want to apologize for my behavior on the day of my son's burial. My son, the martyr. What I said that day was an insult. An insult to my son's memory, to my village, and to martyrdom. I wish to confirm that I have no relationship whatsoever with any group or party that denigrates your sons or their sacrifices. I hope you will accept this apology. Nothing can shake my faith in our government, in our army, and in our principles in times of war and peace.
And are you going to bury your son?
My martyred son, Firas, will be buried, and I formally take back any previous demands I made.
Blood. Night. Inside Imrosan's house. The electricity is off. Candlelight. Photos of Zara and Adnan's wedding with Zara's wedding dress made of military drill. Imrosan has a large tray in her lap and is mechanically sorting rice. Zara enters and turns on the television, showing an interview about the conspiracy against the nation. She sits down in an armchair and takes up her knitting. Imrosan puts down the tray, goes over to the TV, and turns it off. She leaves the room, then comes back and resumes what she is doing. Zara looks annoyed, sighs, and continues knitting. The goat is present. Whenever it tries to climb onto any of the furniture, Zara gently pulls it down. Some time goes by.
It puts me on edge, having the TV off. And it's not good for the baby. Aren't you worried about the baby? If it's a boy, I'll call him Rasan. If it's a girl, Bushra. After my sister, I hope it's a girl. Every time I think of her, I pray that God will punish them and the monsters that killed her. Because she was a state employee. They drink the same water, learn from the same school books, and then they kill us. They're no opposition. They are criminals and traitors. If I had finished my studies, I'd have got a government job, and I would probably have been killed too. Maybe I wouldn't have married Adnan. I wouldn't be pregnant, and we wouldn't be here now. God will punish them. If I wasn't pregnant, I'd go and fight too, don't you think? I wish you'd talk to me a bit. Oh, I'm fed up.
Zara gets up to move television cables out of the way of the voracious goat.
Imaz's goat ate the phone cable. She is worried her youngest son will call and she won't be able to answer. She can't look after herself, let alone take care of a goat. It's like you have to plan your whole life to suit the goat. See, she even wants to watch TV. Oh, God, she's strong. Aren't you scared of her? Hey, if she jumped on you then, would you say something? Maybe you can talk to her. What exactly was the vow you made? You went into your room and you didn't come out until Adnan called. You said, God, avenge your brother's death. There's nothing else worth saying. And Adnan promised to avenge him. Hey, you're throwing out the good rice and keeping the bad.
Zara hurries to collect up the rice, puts the good rice back onto the tray, and returns to sewing together her knitted pieces.
People are dying of hunger. Now you have to separate it all over again.
Ghassan calmly tips the rice onto the floor, infuriating Zara. The electricity cuts out. Zara lights a candle. Phone rings.
Hello? Hello, love. How are you? When are you coming to see us? What's wrong?
Zara hands the receiver to Ghassan.
It's Adnan. He wants to speak to you urgently. Talk to him. It's your son, for goodness sake.
Ghassan hesitates, then puts the phone to her ear. A young man can be heard begging Adnan for mercy.
Listen, good news. This is for Ghassan. We didn't let them have his blood for free.
Morgue. Hospital morgue. Enter Abu Karim and Abu Faras. Abu Karim opens the drawer that contains Faras's body. Abu Karim leaves, the door closed behind him. Just as the door closes, a faint neon light comes on, showing Abu Faras in front of Faras's body, the face covered. The floor of the morgue is covered in closed coffins, or bodies wrapped in shrouds and laid on the floor. Abu Faras silently touches the body through the fabric. He can't make out any of the limbs. He pulls back the shroud to reveal rocks and severed limbs. He recovers the body.
Faras, it's you. They tried to stop me seeing you. What happened to you? Where have you gone? It is too much to bear. Can you hear me? Where is the rest of my son? These rocks are covered in blood. Answer me. I have to say goodbye. I can't let you go without seeing your face.
Abu Faras murmurs his prayers, with his hands on Faras's body. He makes his way to the door. The door is closed from the outside. He tries to open it, but it is closed. He bangs several times, but no one opens.
Abu Karim! Abu Karim! Open the door! I'm inside! Someone open the door! Abu Karim!
Don't you want to see your son? Don't you want to stay with him? Don't you want to find out what happened?
I need to come out so I can find out. You and your boss, you planned this together.
You are a coward. You couldn't spend half an hour in there before you started crying. You don't know anything, and you will never find out. You will have to bury him.
Abu Karim opens the door and Abu Faras scrambles to get out. Cemetery. The cemetery, dawn. The graves have flowers on them, some wilted, some fresh. Each one bears a cardboard sign showing the name of the martyr, sometimes with a photo. Abu Faras sits before Faras's grave. The grave is fresh. The presenter enters. She sits down at a grave near Abu Faras, finishes her prayers, pours water from a bottle onto the grave, then sits waiting. The men of the village enter, each one with his goat on a rope. One of them has painted his goat in pale military colors. Another has dressed his in a soldier's khaki jacket. Another has drawn the flag on his goat. Another has stuck a flag into the forehead of his goat. Some have decorated their goats with other accessories. Others have stuck photos of their sons onto their goats. A few bring the goats as they are. The goats eat the flowers and plants on the graves.
Welcome back.
Stay away! Don't talk to him.
He just buried his son. God rest his soul.
After making such a fool of himself, there is nothing left to say.
They forced me to do it. It was the only way I would see my son.
Who forced you? You expect me to believe you now? I'll never believe him anything.
Have some dignity. Go home.
Where is your dignity? You're happy to replace your sons with goats. Thank God our sons don't know they're only worth a goat. And why, when they ask us what they should do we never hear from them again? Why do they come back dead? Don't tell me I'm making this up. They're being left to die, I'm sure.
The men leave. Abu Faras is left alone. Run away. In front of Imrosan's house, morning. Imrosan and women are seated. The goats are tied up by the door. Imrosan never takes her eyes off the goat.
I'm always hearing things fall over, and then I go and look, and it's another thing broken. She's ruined the settee we had by the front door. They told me she was black. Yesterday when I went to go and milk her, I couldn't find her. I was beside myself. Then the boys told me she was up on the roof. How she got up there, I don't know. God help us. We're not worth shit to them. See, they gave us a goat to shut us up. If you open your mouth to say anything about it, they take your next one.
People are saying Abu Samir killed his goat.
I know what happened. Abu Altaïd has sent his son Kenan abroad, hasn't he? After the news about Altaïd.
Passing her phone to Zara.
Here, look.
What is it? No, we can't. The profile picture of the page this week is going to be the Mothers of Martyrs Association, not...
We can put a different goat every week.
Next thing, you'll be recording the noises they make and turning them into ringtones.
Abu Faras arrives.
Imran, come out and talk to me. I know you're there. When Adnan called, what did he say?
Adnan avenged his brother. Made us all proud. I heard the gunshot. Or are you going to tell me that he was scared?
Talk to me. They're using our sons as bait.
Imrosan emerges from the door.
The officers are leaving our sons to die, probably without weapons. They're sacrificing them. The boys need help.
The landline rings. Zara answers.
What did Adnan say last time he rang?
How are you? Is everything okay? Your mom won't say a word. Abu Faras is driving us off the wall. You ought to be... Okay. Imrosan.
Zara holds out the phone. Imrosan hesitates, then takes it. Zara brings her head closer to the receiver so she can also hear.
What's happening to the boys? Ask him.
Talk to her. She can't hear you.
Congratulations, you're a hero.
How many?
What's going on?
Kill them. He caught some terrorists. He's asking you what to do. Speak. Go on. Why would you answer him? Don't kill them straight away. Go. Get them to talk and then... And send us a picture of you with them.
Run! Tell him to run. Is he surrounded? He'll be killed. Run! They don't care about you. Just get out. Run! My son, Firas, run!
Run! What? You're mad. If you don't kill them, I'll kill myself. Don't call again. Don't call anyone. Just get away.
Eman Hassan hangs up.
You're a traitor.
You listen to me.
I don't believe it.
Zara tries to call back Adnan, but she is unable to get through.
You're not one of us. You're a criminal. One of them. My baby's father. A coward. Shame! I will kill it before it's even born. Get out of here!
You won't regret it. You and I are still alive. That is our shame.
The goat butts its head against the wall, and the house shakes. Gesture. In front of Abu Firas's house, middle of the day, lots of goats. The villagers are gathered with Abu al-Tayyib's bodyguards, one of whom is standing by Abu Firas's front door, holding a goat on a rope. The presenter and cameraman are also present. Abu al-Tayyib arrives, and they clear a path for him. Applause. Bodyguard knocks at Abu Firas's front door. They wait. Abu Firas doesn't open. The bodyguard knocks again. The cameraman films the door as he knocks, and when it doesn't open, turns to film the faces of the villagers and their goats.
Abu al-Tayyib, shall we head off? We only have 10 minutes.
We will not be long.
Abu Firas yanks open the door suddenly and roughly. He is wearing a vest and shorts. The villagers are embarrassed and uncomfortable at the sight. Abu al-Tayyib is surprised. Live coverage plays on the screen. The cameraman zooms to avoid Abu Firas's body, focusing instead on his face and on the other people present. On stage, bodyguard beckons Eman S, who's carrying a bag. Eman S takes out a handful of rice and throws it festively over Abu Tayyib and the presenter.
Abu Firas, you are today's lucky winner. We are here today to present you with this goat as a token of our gratitude. First, please say a few words for the occasion. Everyone is so proud of what you said in the video. The goat is our gift to you in Firas' name.
Take my goat. Consider it a gift. In return, tell us the truth. All the truth. About the sons, the phone calls, the deaths.
We had an agreement.
Then they send their boys to their deaths. But when they cry, when they die, and then they shut up as soon as they get a goat.
The bodyguards approach Abu Firas to hustle him back inside the house.
Who wants my goat?
The villagers shift awkwardly and the bodyguards shove Abu Firas inside. Abu Firas closes the door.
Keep banging your head against the wall, Abu Firas.
It's coming. It's coming.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to...
The presenter's voice is drowned out by the noise. On screen, the cameraman films the sky. On stage, the villagers whistle and yell increasingly loud.
That is the sound of a Scud missile soaring through the sky over our village. Bang on schedule. The army is famous for its precision. We can just glimpse the Scud on its 23-minute flight. We are so proud of our Scud.
Viewers, as we speak, a Scud missile is passing over the village. The 196th Battalion launched in the presence of the regional party leader, the mayor, the municipal councillors, and the villagers young and old.
On stage, Eman S kneels down and kisses the ground. On screen, Abu Karim makes his way towards the presenter and stands in front of the camera.
It was my son who launched it.
All heads are raised to the sky. As the missile continues past the village, the villagers move robotically to follow it. The screen continues to show the missile's flight, then turns off the moment it explodes. Outside Abu Firas's house, the goat is tied up. Abu Firas opens the door, and he is surprised to find it there. Abu Firas unties the goat and leaves it to escape. He then looks up at the sky. The goat stays in front of the door. Abu Firas shoos it away, but the goat remains resolutely next to him. Abu Faras runs inside and closes the door behind him. The goat stays outside his house. Hero. Im Hassan's house. Nighttime. Zara enters carrying a tray of food and puts it down. She turns off the light and leaves. Im Hassan gets up and lights a candle. Adnan enters, hair wet, and sits down to eat. Im Hassan watches him. Adnan eats in a strange manner without stopping. Whenever he finishes what is in front of him, Zara brings him more.
Am I clean now? Mom, I didn't hear you.
Adnan pulls her forcefully towards him by the arm. He kisses her hand.
When I speak to you, answer me.
There's nothing to say. You'll always lose when you're up against people who have nothing to lose.
So, I didn't kill that man for my brother because you'd made a vow?
Because you're a hero.
Adnan throws food at Zara.
Look, stupid. Heroes don't run away, do they? Clear it up. A school teacher like you shouldn't be dirty.
Zara quickly gets up to clean the food from the floor.
You still haven't answered me.
About what?
About everything. Why I'm here. Why did I kill the guy if not for you? Why are you two celebrating me for, and why is there a goat outside?
Did anyone see you?
Only Imam Ahmed. God.
Imam Ahmed won't say anything.
Nor will God.
And Al-Talib and Kinan away, and we sent them away, and we all pretended we didn't know.
When I came in, he was sitting there just like this, eating on the floor. His wife was in the bedroom. His daughter was younger than you, and prettier.
Who? I don't want to hear.
The boys came in and dragged her outside, whatever. She got what she deserved. Dad lost his mind.
Oh, stop talking.
His wife kissed my feet. I think it was this one.
What are you talking about?
Im Hassan gets up to leave, but Adnan grabs her and sits her back down.
When the hero's talking, you sit and listen. We're fighting and getting killed and liberating territory and storming enemy hideouts for you. So when we talk, you can damn well sit and pay attention. Guys dragged her outside too. I don't know what happened to her. The girl, I know. I do know, because I heard. Father, against the wall as well, he tried to kiss my feet. I said to him, it wasn't easy for my mom to lose her son, and it isn't easy for me to see that she's decided to stop talking until we've avenged him. So you have to wait a few moments while I call her.
Adnan, what's wrong with you?
Adnan throws food at her again.
Let's just hope we win and manage to kill half the country. Isn't that what you want? Say it. I want to hear it from myself. Don't you want us to bomb them out of existence while they're eating just like this? Boom! Finished your dinner, a leg here, an arm, a head there, hair over there. Boom. That's the scud for you. The scud we love so much. The scud our taxes paid for. We inherit our parents' unpaid tax. Did you know that?
Im Hassan makes a move to get up, but Adnan stops her.
Don't go. We haven't eaten yet. Question. Which idiot went and screwed everything up when we were surrounded? Which idiot was with us? Guess. Who?
I don't
Get up.
know.
Get up. Get up. Against the wall. No, wait. Stay by the other. Stand on one leg. Hands behind your head.
Follow, please.
Zara won't get up. Adnan gets up and pulls Zara, who gives in and stands up.
The idiot was out to eat. Son of that other idiot. I will tell you. Ask me why.
Why?
Because he's a moron. He nearly got us killed. We were in the room where I killed the guy. Run! Run! They're bombing us! When he was meant to be guarding us. So we ran. And who was bombing us? Who?
The terrorists.
Adnan goes towards Zara and pulls her by the ear.
How do they let you teach in school? Who has planes, huh? Do the terrorists have planes? We were bombed by our own planes. Our barrel bombs. No big deal if we died by mistake, is it? No big deal, is it?
It must have been a mistake.
Adnan slaps Zara.
That's so you don't make any mistakes, so you learn.
Don't you dare lay a finger on her.
What happened to us then? Well, obviously we didn't die, did we? The house collapsed on us and we got trapped and the wall fell on Nabil's leg. Al-Taib pissed himself, and I got stuck with the guy I killed, and what comes down from here? From the ceiling?
Calm down, son. You're tired, darling. Sit down.
Let me finish. Let me finish. A little boy's hand appears. 7 years old, maybe. Next, you see a bit of his body. Then his head comes down, and he just hangs there in the air like he's being born, covered in white sand. And his head's all red.
Zara feels sick, runs to the side of the room, and vomits.
Well done, Zara. Well done. That's how Atib died. His mom, did she find out he burned to death?
She started wandering around outside, pulling her hair and swearing at everyone. Abu al-Tayyib won't let her out anymore.
He died later, just like his father wanted. His legs were hanging off as he was bleeding, but he was on TV. The presenter got to him in time and interviewed him while he was dying. Died live on TV. Do you know what fell off the boy?
Adnan takes a gold chain from around his neck.
And who's it a present for? For the baby. Zara, come here and take it.
Zara approaches and takes it from his hand.
Zara, put it away.
It's for the baby to wear.
It's bad luck. You shouldn't.
I swear to God, I have no idea who I'm fighting for or against anymore. I'm just defending myself. But when I get confused, I get scared. When I get scared, I want to fight. When I fight, I regret it, maybe. When I regret things, I can't do anything. That makes me want to fight more, so I don't regret anything. What would you do in my place? Where are the clothes? The clothes I was wearing when I got here.
I've hidden them. To have something that smells of you.
Hide them somewhere good. Do you know whose clothes they are? Did you smell them properly? What do you think? They're the clothes of the guy I killed for the son. So hide them somewhere safe. Your husband is a coward. His lot came in while we were still hiding in his house. I killed him, then put his clothes on, and I stayed alive.
It's okay, love. In war.
Well, hello there. Look who's bored of sitting on their own. Isn't that Ghassan? We were making so much noise. Couldn't you sleep? Poor thing. Haven't you seen what they did to us?
Adnan gets on all fours and approaches the goat.
Don't we look nice together? Nah. Nah. Is that good? Or is my voice too low? Why isn't he answering me? I want a blue ribbon for my neck. And when I turn into a goat, maybe we'll be able to talk to each other.
Please, get up, please.
Get it out of here.
Zara goes out with the goat.
Take a deep breath and listen to me. You're going to find the first smuggler you come across, and you're going to leave the country. Then you can phone me.
I know the lines are tapped. When a father says to his son, I want you to be a hero and make us proud, it means go and die.
People are scared of each other. People can't even talk in their own homes. And that's why you need to leave.
It's a bit late for that, huh? Two things you can't stand in the way of. Water rising and people when they rise up. Who told me that? Look at me!
The main thing is that you're safe.
Safe? I'm dead. You just can't see that.
Adnan lights the candle. Ghassan gets up. Adnan grabs her roughly by the arm.
You still haven't answered me.
No one knows who knows. No one knows who doesn't know. No one knows anything. And no one can say anything, even if they do know. No one can be sure they don't know. Some rumors were going around at one point that no one heard anything more. Everyone got scared, but no one can say they're scared.
Surely. You wondered why the boys started phoning their families. Is that what soldiers normally do?
Ghassan exits. Adnan pulls out his service number chain from inside his shirt and looks at it. Then Ghassan returns with a bag of food she has prepared in advance.
You need to get out of the country. You're all I have left. Oh, get out of here. Run away.
That day, why'd you tell me to run away?
Abu Firas,
Do you know why?
I don't care as long as you're here.
You don't mind spending the rest of your life like this? Get them all to tell their sons to run away when they call, or let them not bother. Fuck them all.
Adnan exits, heading for the bathroom.
Where are you going?
He's trying to kill a baby. He's insane. Insane. Help!
Ibn Hassan turns on a light and runs to the bathroom. The front door is heard closing. Killer. The space outside Ibn Hassan's house, nighttime. Adnan comes out at a run. Abu Firas stops him.
I knew you'd come back. I was waiting for you.
You still alive?
They haven't killed me yet. Tell me about Firas.
He's dead. You know everything.
No, not everything. Why do they call?
They capture us. They make us call you. You know that?
Who's capturing whom? I don't get it.
No, you don't. No one here has any idea. They fucking set up ambushes to capture us. I don't know, it's different every time. They capture one of us and make them call you, they make us talk to you, film us on their phones, and they make us ask you while they're standing over us so we can hardly breathe.
When Firas called me.
When I called, they were breathing down my neck like wild animals. They were holding the phone and saying, ask your family. If I didn't make a call and ask, they were gonna kill me. It's easy. Repeat after me.
I've caught some terrorists. What shall I do?
I've caught some terrorists. What shall I do?
And then what? What happens?
When I got caught, I was with Ataib. We've escaped death twice. And we got caught again by 4 men with a boy of around 12. He was listening to music on his mobile, and I still got one of those songs stuck in my head. One of them was wearing a fucking wedding dress.
Oh, a wedding dress?
He'd been wearing it to fight since our boys killed his fiancée. I thought it was all a laugh, a prank. I thought they were some of our lot having a laugh. I mean, how was I meant to know? Turned out to be a trap. Same clothes as us, same accent even.
What happened?
They took Al-Taib first and made him call his more honorable father. Abu Taib goes, burn them. The second he got off the phone, one of them was shouting, get the petrol! I watched Al-Taib burn to death before my eyes. They made Ramez dig his own grave, and when I ran away, I could still hear him screaming as he was digging. Firas wasn't in my unit, but if he phoned you, then it was you that killed him. How did you want him to kill him?
Why didn't you tell us what was happening?
None of us knew until it happened to us. Abu Firas, run away! Like you said to my mom to tell me. They'll kill you, I swear. When that lot get here, or when the people here find out, you know, I bet you they know already.
There's no way they know. They have to find out.
They won't believe you. Don't tell anyone. No, tell everyone. Let everyone in town find out. They'll go insane. They should go insane. Tell them not to send their kids to join the army. They'd be better off killing them.
Why is this happening to us?
Why is this happening to us?
Adnan is about to run away, but Abu Firas catches hold of him.
Did I kill Firas?
Firas killed people too. That's how it works. You won't be able to change anything.
Stay here, so they will believe you.
If I say it, they'll kill me. Don't tell anyone you saw me. All the videos are online.
Adnan takes out his mobile phone. Adnan starts playing one of the videos on his mobile, which we see on screen. Abu Firas grabs the phone immediately. Adnan walks away. Abu Firas is left alone. Burning coals. Abu Al-Taib's house. The living room. Abu Al-Taib is smoking a hookah pipe and watching the official news, which we see on the screen. Al-Taib is sitting near him. Her hair hangs over her face, and she is dipping a comb into a dish of water next to her and combing her hair.
How can you sit there smoking when you're meant to be sad about your sons?
Everyone has their own way of being sad.
Do you think about them?
What do you think?
When we stop talking, the sound of the fighting is much clearer. Can you hear? It's getting closer. Let's not give Al-Tayyib room to the goat.
No one suggested that.
I heard. They are building a mall over the cemetery. When is it going to happen? I will have to buy my father from the shopping mall.
That's enough! Stop listening when I'm on the phone. You should be ashamed.
Apparently, His Excellency the President's wife is going to personally congratulate the woman who is mother of the most martyrs. Are you scared for them? Or scared of them? Respect or contempt?
Bullshit.
Maybe also.
You've got money.
No, I haven't.
Did you burn it again?
I don't like fire.
Loud banging at the door. Abu Al-Tayyib gets up. Abu Al-Tayyib looks through the people.
Go inside.
I am inside.
Abu Al-Tayyib is forced to open the door to put a stop to the deafening banging. Abu Faras enters and immediately slaps Abu Al-Tayyib around the face. Abu Al-Tayyib is stunned.
Get out!
Eman Al-Tayyib exits and goes into the kitchen.
It might not be the first time, but it is certainly the last.
Criminal! You knew about the phone calls and you said nothing.
I have no idea what you are talking about.
Liar!
I never lie.
I can show you videos to jog your memory. They're all over the internet.
Abu Firas, you poor thing.
How can you kill your own son and stand in front of me now? You go to his grave, but you don't kill yourself. Now I see why you wouldn't open the coffins. You didn't want me to know.
I don't know what you are talking about.
If you don't tell me, I'm going to go around showing the videos to the whole village.
Go on then. Why weren't you expecting that? Aren't you talking about the phone calls? If you think people are going to believe all those fake videos, you're mistaken. Do you think we'd let ourselves be tricked by some lie made up by the opposition? My dear teacher, at the next party meeting, we will show them how the videos are made to weaken our boys' resolve. How it is all a bunch of lies. We can always find an answer. So show them to anyone you like.
No, they'll never believe that.
We've done it before, and you all went along with it.
You can't keep lying to people forever.
Who said it was a lie? People hear what they want to hear. It is a shame.
Lies always get found out in the end.
If it does get found out, it will only be to cover up for another one. Wake up, Abu Firas. You're in the war. If the sound of fighting seems a long way off, that just means it's going to get closer.
You knew that you were sending your son to his death.
That is not true.
You knew. Before he called, you knew. Before our sons called us. And you didn't tell us.
Why do you care so much about my answer?
Enter Eman Al-Tayyib, who has heard everything, in a state of shock. She freezes, unable to scream. Then she begins to let out unearthly animal shrieks, pulling her hair and slapping her head as she screams. She turns to Abu Al-Tayyib's hookah pipe, grabs the pieces of charcoal, rubs them into her hair, and begins to scream. Abu Al-Tayyib runs over to her and tries to put a stop to her fit of hysteria. He puts his arms around her in an attempt to get her to be quiet and to take the coals from her.
Shh, be quiet, be quiet. Let go, let go.
You,
let go.
You,
Happy?
You criminal! You're a criminal! I hate fire!
None of it is true.
You refuse to believe it.
What difference does it make? You would have done the same thing anyway. You're a criminal. You're vile!
You knew. How long have you known?
Abu Firas is insane. Don't listen to him. You cannot change anything.
You're a criminal. You poor things. Poor things. You're scared. Scared of them. What could have made you kill your own son? Nothing. You're vile. Vile. And you killed your son. My son.
I did not kill him. Al-Tayyib died a martyr. Al-Tayyib was fighting in a war. Soldiers have to lay down their lives in war. That's it. That's what war is. You should have been buried first.
When he called us, the poor thing wanted our help. He did not want to die. You killed him. Burn them. You could have said anything. Fire. Coals.
Al-Tayyib knows. Al-Tayyib understands. Al-Tayyib is a hero.
Game. The party office. Mudar and Fadi are drinking vodka and watching TV. They flick through the channels: sports, action films, music videos, cartoons. In front of them is a pile of textbooks, school books, and pens, and a laptop. Mudar is skillfully taking apart an M16 gun to clean it, then putting it back together. When he finishes putting it back together, he amuses himself by taking aim at the others at whim for the things they say. They pass around a joint.
I'm bored. Get that fucking thing out of my face when you're talking. School starts early and homework and shit like that. What's the point? If we stay here, we'll have to join the army in a few years. I don't want to.
Won't it be over by the time it's our turn?
Well, you don't need to worry about dying. You're worth a whole goat. I'm going to leave. There's things I want to do. I'm going to get out of here, like Adnan and everyone else.
They're coming to film something tomorrow. They've caught some terrorists and they want to film their confessions.
What? They've caught terrorists here? They've got this far? I'm going to head home.
Fadi gets up and heads for the door. Mudar follows Fadi outside.
Look, there's someone waving over there. A soldier in a wedding dress.
It must be a crazy person. What's he doing in the middle of the night?
Doesn't look like he's from around here.
Lesson. The school. Nighttime. Abu Faras opens the door and enters, pulling the goat behind him. He turns on the light, but the room remains dim. He ties the goat to a chair. He wipes the board and slowly writes on it the following: history repeats itself, period, final. Subject, the past. Topic, the future. He begins to write on the board. Zara and the pupils approach the door from outside. We see Abu Faras hanging from the classroom ceiling. He has hung himself using the goat's tether. The goats hang in midair, gasping weakly. The sight of Abu Faras is horrifying. He has urinated on himself. Zara and some pupils recoil in fright, and some of them run from the room. Zara hurriedly closes the door so no one can enter. Fadi, Mudar, and a handful of other pupils remain with Zara. They are upset and agitated. Zara is at a loss as to what to do and feels nauseous. She is still pregnant. On the board is written,
I remain silent about my crimes against others, and thus I killed my son. This is the fate of every man who stays silent. Firas called me for help from an ambush with opposition fighters, and what I wanted done to them was done to him. I sentenced him to death. We have all killed our children through our ignorance and fear. Now every fallen fighter is my son. We are eating each other's flesh. It is only the poor who die, and the regime who are directing this war. Do not attempt to stand up to or to stop this machine, only to benefit from it. Do not go to war, for it will not build a better nation. Doubt, questioning, courage. This is my final lesson.
Close your eyes. Somebody, phone the headmaster. No, someone phone Comrade Abu Al-Tayyib. Nobody say anything to anyone outside. Don't let anyone in until we know.
Mudar steps aside to call his father. Vadi takes some photos of Abu Faras in the blackboard with his phone.
Killed himself.
What does it look like to you?
Miss, have you seen what's written on the board?
Abu Al-Tayyib enters. He has visible burn marks. In shock, he walks around Abu Faras.
No, no, Lord help us. May God have mercy on your soul, Abu Faras. What have they done to you? Miss Comrade, I'm so sorry, all of you. This is the last thing I expected, even though I expected it. What a loss this is.
Comrade, we came in.
You don't need to say any more. It is all too clear. Mudar, son, why did you tell me that he killed himself? Abu Faras was murdered. This is the work of armed terrorist gangs. A respectable man like Abu Faras would never commit suicide.
Murdered?
Mudar and Fadi make a move to take Abu Faras's body down.
Leave him, boys. Nobody touch anything until the police get here. Please do not look at him anymore. We need your help. That suicide story you gave me was obviously a mistaken first impression. The leadership were aware that Abu Faras had received threats, but we mistakenly thought that he was safe. No word of this will leave this room. The classroom is a sacred space of learning, and everything that takes place within it remains within it. There will be no leaks, no WhatsApp, no Facebook, nothing of that sort. This is a big responsibility when you are still so young. But you're men. You can do it.
What?
What did we see? Comrade, sir, how would armed terrorists have got into the village in the middle of the night just like that?
Yeah, it's really scary.
Listen, son, we're surrounded by collaborators, by rats, by germs. They're recruited from our ranks. That's why we ask people to report any strange behavior. This is an immense conspiracy. We should think about defending our village, not panic about infiltrators.
But sir, on the board, I know it from class. That is his handwriting. Isn't it, Mudar?
Abu Al-Tayyib notices the words written on the board. He walks slowly over to wipe the board clean as he speaks.
Incredible. They even imitate his handwriting and write inflammatory messages in his name.
But sir, that is his handwriting. You can see his marks in my exercise.
Son, they could dictate it and force him to write it, couldn't they?
Like the phone calls, sir.
Don't be silly. What are you talking about?
I can't believe one of our men of the future would fall for this absurdity. Before you leave, look carefully at the board. Is that his handwriting? Is what was written there believable?
Yeah, they could have forced him to write it.
Will the goat be alright like that?
Son, that is enough chit-chat. Mudar, tell the head to evacuate the school immediately.
The teenagers head for the door.
Excuse me. We'll say the Fatiha before we leave.
The teenagers are embarrassed at their blunder. They recite the Fatiha and then leave.
Look what he did. He tied the rope around and around, so there's no way he could change his mind.
Abu Al-Tayyib drags over a chair to climb up and bring down Abu Faras.
Now, Comrade Zara, let me tell you what you are thinking. Abu Faras killed himself, but why Abu Al-Tayyib doesn't say that? Answer me.
Comrade, only before you arrived. But your explanation is convincing, and...
The terrorists killed Abu Faras' son. His son, the dearest thing anyone can possess. Then the terrorists convinced him that he'd killed his own son. That's why he wanted to open the coffin to make sure. The terrorists killed Abu Faras. Now what do you see when you look at Abu Faras?
Abu Al-Tayyib has brought down the body of Abu Faras.
I see what you're telling me.
It was they who committed his suicide. Even if it looks like something else, what does logic say?
He covers Abu Faras.
What is truth in a time of war? What is it? It is a series of little white lies, made up stories. That's all.
They should have arrested him for his own protection.
Poor man. He thought he had the truth, but all he had was some other fantasy. Everyone lies. People always choose the lies they know, the lies they were brought up on, the lies that they can always believe.
Comrade, martyrdom is not a lie. The war is not a lie. Soon, when it ends...
The war is not going to end.
What's going to happen?
Don't forget, get them to write a tribute to their teacher for the memorial. That is the proper thing, is it no?
He gently holds her away and smiles at her.
If only we'd been born somewhere else.
Zara leaves, mesmerized. Abu al-Tayyib remains with Abu Faras's body and the goat. Nature. The cemetery, daytime. Goats browse among the graves and eat the wilted flowers left behind. Abu Faras's funeral procession approaches, led by 4 men carrying the coffin, which bears an old photo of Abu Faras. Behind them is an impressive parade of security men and officers in their various uniforms, wearing sunglasses and tracksuits. Bodyguards clear the path for them. All the villagers are in attendance, plus Abu Faras's family. Tayyib has no hair and wears a kerchief around her head to cover her burns. Hassan is present, and Zara, who watches Abu al-Tayyib. The teenagers are sad and awkward, but they behave well during the ceremony. The coffin is placed on the ground. Abu al-Tayyib is clean-shaven, but burn marks are still visible. He makes his way forward and timidly begins his speech.
My dear friends and comrades, bright torches are being extinguished. Soaring eagles of intellect are being led to their death. Enlightened minds are killed and our country is ravaged day after day. Yet by God we are as determined as ever. Abu Faras comes from an honorable family known for its patriotic feeling. He loved his family. He loved his nation, and he made a great sacrifice for it. As a tribute to our beloved teacher, the authorities are converting Abu Faras' home into a school for memorizing the Quran. Now, let us pay tribute to our dear departed. We have many eulogies. Dr. Samer Abu Samra for the party. Nasim Sulaiman, Honorable Minister for Education. Miss Lemya Fatan for the People's Associations. My son Mudar will read the tribute by his pupils. Abu Faras' brother, just arrived from abroad, will deliver a eulogy from the family. First, Imran will speak for his friends.
They wait expectantly for Imran to stir, but she does not move. Zara watches her. Imran gazes at Abu Faras's coffin.
Imran, our anguish is great. We await your words to bring us some solace.
Imran takes a piece of paper from inside her clothes.
If Abu Faras hadn't left his will at my window, if he hadn't wanted it to be read out to you, I would never speak up. This has happened before and nothing changed. But I am reading this for his sake. He saved a life, the life most dear to me. Abu Faras paid for this will with his life. Those killed by traitors, well, they have no time to leave a will. But also, Faras did leave a will. Here are Abu Faras's final words. My poor fellow villagers, I opened my son's coffin so I could lay down next to him.
working?
First time that I'm really trying to.
Can people hear me well? Yeah.
Zishan?
First, thank you all for coming. That was like very powerful indeed. And we'd like to thank Zishan for her directing the reading, and welcome Liwaa, who's with us on Skype.
Hi.
Hi, Liwaa.
Hi Liwaa.
Hi. Hey, Zishan.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you.
Liwaa, can you hear us well?
Yeah.
Perfect. It's hard to, like, I don't know where to start now after this, but I mean, you definitely don't give us easy answers in the play, but I'm very interested in the political questions you're trying to grapple with in the play, and also how those questions changed since the beginning of the revolution, since the beginning of the uprising for you. Maybe if we could talk a little bit about that. Sorry, Liwaa, did you hear the question?
No.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me well now, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know in the play you definitely don't give us any easy answers. Not that you're supposed to give us any answers, but I'm really interested in the political questions you're trying to grapple with in the play, and how those questions changed for you since the beginning of the uprising, since the beginning of the revolution.
Yeah. So it's really also my quest for to follow to try to understand how people normalize with the absurdity of war, and how what is truth in war of times, and what is ethical and what is not ethical, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. So leave aside everything that has to do with killing and blood and political stands and all these things, which are very clear, at least for me, where I stand from that whole thing. But what is truth in war of times is really something very, very problematic for me. And who am I to claim that I know the truth, or that I know, or that I have the answers? So it's really my own journey to also to understand how people would really normalize with all these details, like starting from taking a goat and like accepting a boot as a vase, or all these little details to the very big questions. So it's really, my concern was about that kind of sphere of how do we really decipher, how do we really know, understand, and try to keep our morals and our understanding in such vague times. And I don't think it's now in the worldwide, I don't think it's only a matter of truth in war times, it's also truth in all over. I mean, especially now with the alternative truth concept, which really came up later on, much, I guess, like 3 or after 4 years from the play was written. So yeah, I guess it's what is truth.
Just to follow up on this question, it was hard not to pick up on those binary notions of, as you said, truth and lies, evil represented in Abu Tayyib, and then the good guy represented in Abu Firas, and also who's the terrorist, who's not the terrorist. How can we read your play in a way that urges us to think beyond those binaries, beyond those dichotomies?
I guess it's not about it's not about who's a terrorist, who's not. It's about the perspective, where do you stand actually from that whole thing. So I mean, ethical things are not very relative, and actually, so what happens is that where do you stand and how do you want to survive, and on which basis you want to go on living. So for me, I know that the allies of the regime, they started naming the opposition as terrorists. But later on, after like 2-3 years, the whole question of terrorists was a very open question, with all those fighters coming inside Syria. So I mean, it's always a research, and it's really a long journey to get your own answers for questions, and not to rely on what is given to you as an easy answer by media. I know it's really very hard, because everything is divided in that. And you know, we're just consuming news. I'm now in Berlin. I'm reading and I'm watching news about my country. So it's really very hard to. It's really a very weary journey to know acts actually. So it's not very easy. I'm not asking everybody in terms of like, yeah, you have to go and dig in. Yeah, it's really a very understandable tiredness, like towards what you're getting from media. So yeah.
Maybe this question is for both, for the director and for Liwaa, for Zishan. What are the parts of the play that were left out in the reading that you think we missed out? Because I know the play was very interactive in the way you thought about it. Could we talk a little bit about, I don't know who would like to answer the question, what are those parts that were left out and what is the significance of those parts?
Well, actually, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't actually cut any scenes. There are 18 scenes. So I kept the scenes, but kind of try to edit the parts was actually repetition or the detail of the same question or detail of the same argument. So actually, I believe, I mean, it took such a long time to decide. I mean, you can imagine 135 pages to like 45 pages is such a work. But I think my aim was reading the play 3 times to understand the argument, to understand the conversation and relationship among the characters, and try to keep the core of the question, core of the argument in the play. So that's what I really tried hard to bring that. And this morning again, like I was looking some details, I'm like, I'm sure we missed a lot. I mean, it's incredibly detailed and beautiful job you did, Liwaa. And there was some part, like I discovered this morning actually, Al-Tayyib, wife of Abu Al-Tayyib, when they have in dialogue, she says, I want to go back to work. And then he says, we talked about this. And she says, but you don't know what is to be thrown away out of the party. I am not part of the anymore anything. So, and then there is another dialogue goes, and you know, and somebody has been kind of this kind of out of the party again for some mistakes, and she says, what mistake? Mistake is always changing. Whose mistake is this? They decide today is a mistake, and tomorrow the mistake changes. Who decides about the mistake? So this morning, actually, I was like, this is kind of an important. I wish I put that too. But I am sure there are so many parts that actually missed a little bit. But I think the core and the argument there. I mean, of course, Liwaa can decide that better, but yeah.
Thank you, Zishan. And you know, it's really very hard for a writer to say what was missing. You know, I guess that you really did a great job, and I was trying all my best to be neutral and like really hearing the story in terms of the virgin of the story. And I think, as you said, the core of the things are all, you know, the core of the things is there. So yeah, it's when it comes to details, there are so many things that, you know, I know them. These things are missing, but I know it's also very hard to have a reading like over the time that you did, and also in the time crunch that you had to prepare for the play. So thank you it's really a great job.
Thank you, thank you.
Also, Liwaa, I know the first time it was staged was in London. That was like a couple of months ago, and now it was just right here in the US. What does it mean for you, or what do you hope that the play will achieve? What spaces it could open up for it to be read for an American audience, or for an audience in the United States, or for an audience in the UK? And how do you think Syrians would receive the play?
Yeah, this is really a question on so many different levels, but for me, it's just really to create now, just to make it short, to create a common ground between people who are listening to this play, and also to identify with questions that are coming from a place far away that only comes in news like Syria, and like only talking about death and murder and like conspiracy and bombs and whatever. So I mean, there are questions that come from that zone that I hope that people in other places in the world can identify with, and can find that they relate to their daily life also somewhere else. Of course, I want to raise awareness and let people know more about Syria, all these, very obvious things about the story and the characters and the absurdity and the manipulation that is done by the regime and the industry of the media and all of these things. But I mean, to create a common ground where people can feel like, yeah, maybe also we're living in a manufactured truth. So yeah, that I would now summarize it very quickly to say that is also very important for me.
So I would like to ask you also the same question. What are your interests in directing the reading? Yeah.
I mean, I think that the play unfolds so many questions, which is also very actual for us and for our politics. I think my first question was, to me, I mean, 250,000 people died in the Syrian war, and 11 million people are in journey in immigrations, so they lost their homes and houses. So, and if war is going on the last 7 years, I am part of it. I am actually the reason of it, because I am silent about it, or I don't do enough to stop the war. So to me, of course, to bring the reality of war into the room is a big responsibility. But the second question was, to me, is still a big question. Who are the terrorists really? Maybe that's the answer. But who are the terrorists really? I mean, we really have to ask ourselves all the time who we are against, who is the enemy. I think media and today's digital high-tech world is quite dangerous in my mind and bringing so many questions to my mind. But I was asking, and I look at the etymology of the terrorist, is the first time mostly it's used in 1866 in Russia. So the people were against the Tsar. And then it revived itself in 1866 in French Revolution against the Jacobian. So today I am thinking, who are the terrorists really? So that's what I'm not going to answer, because it's very difficult to answer, it's complex. But I am also aware of that. We should keep asking that question. And I think you beautifully bring that question, Liwaa. So, yeah.
Yeah, my last question, because we have... Oh, sorry, Liwaa, please.
No, it just really, it's the whole industry of creating a monster that everybody would be afraid of. And like, to live in the politics of fear is very profitable for those who create it. So yeah, it's really very dangerous that we don't really question any longer what is terrorism and who's the terrorist. And there is a sentence that Abu Firas says that the terrorists are the sons of the other nearby villagers who all of a sudden turn to be in the news to be terrorists. So it's really, one day it's here and one day it's there. So exactly as Zishan said.
Yeah, I mean, I could say one more line is just, to me, is power is terrorizing everything. Today is just like, only shortly can I say, any power can terrorize easily. And do we call them terrorists? I think we should think about it, one point, yeah.
The last question, maybe if like in a minute, I do see you work as a part of a larger project, that how we are remembering Syria, how we're remembering the uprising, how we're writing a history of the present, if I could call it that. How do you situate your work within other works on Syria, on the one hand, and also how do you situate your work within other works on wars, uprisings, revolutions? I know this will take you more than 1 minute, but if we could do it in like in a minute or two.
Actually,
I know I'm being unfair.
I guess that time and others will decide that. To be honest, it's not me who can situate my work. I just feel like I'm really putting all my personal questions and trying really to have my work as part of my life and my journey into how to express these questions and like the looking for answers and the research. But I cannot situate my work, to be honest. I just can do it as good as I can, and I hope that by time and like others can situate it, and I would be happy to know that later on.
Perfect. Liwaa, it's a shame we didn't have you with us, but thank you very much for being also with us on Skype. And thank you. Also, thank you to.
Thank you for coming. It's really very dear for me, and I also would have really loved to be there, but you know, the ban against Syria. So yeah.
Thank you, Liwaa. Thank you. And thank you, Zishan, also.
Thank you, Liwaa.
Thank you very much for coming.
So if you